you will have to tell me why are you here in brief. Okay, and how are you going to use that knowledge? Okay, but then have you thought about something? Are you going to use it for your own self or to help others? Okay, very good. Sir, what about you? Why are you here? Okay, very good. Sir, why are you here? Okay. What about you, sir? Okay, very good. See, basically today's talk is not restricted to any age group as such, right? There are certain things which we may keep on doing wrong for the rest of our lives, right? So here's an opportunity to learn what you're doing wrong, what you're doing right. If you're doing something right, you have to continue doing it. If you're doing something wrong, you have to let go of that and adopt some positive patterns of behavior, right? So first of all, we begin with, okay. Okay, who will tell me, is a perfect partnership or a relationship possible or not? Those of you who are married or have been in a long-term relationship, I would expect some answers from them. Is a perfect partnership uh, possible or not? And how do you define a perfect partnership? Sorry? Okay, compromise. Very good. Since he's been married for so many years, he's used the right word, compromise. What about you, sir? How would you define a perfect partnership and is it possible or not? Okay, and how would you define perfect partnership? With your partner. Okay, how would you define a perfect partnership between the two partners? What about you? Sorry? Okay. What about you? Yes. Supporting each other, understanding each other, and as this gentleman rightly said, adjusting to each other. But having said that, let me tell you something. There is nothing like a perfect partnership. No partnership can ever be perfect. There will always be loopholes. It's just that we can try to make it better and better. You can never get a relationship where everything is 100% all right. Because no, actually perfect is an ideal which we aspire to reach. See, if we tell you, if we write a book like, how to make a good relationship, people are not inspired. But when you use the word perfect, or when you say, reach your ideal, it is something we look forward to, but can never be reached. Right? So never be misled by that word. Perfect and ideal are things which we aspire to, but we can never reach. Because we are all human beings, men and women, and we have our own limitations. We can never become gods and reach perfection. So this is an aim to get better of what you're already doing, which is good, and try to do better and better every day till you are at a comfortable level of satisfaction. But as I want to clarify that there's nothing like perfect, and so many men and women enter into relationships thinking that, this man or this woman is going to make my life perfect. Nobody can ever make your life perfect. Am I right? There will always be certain strengths and weaknesses in a partner which can never actually be nullified throughout the course of your life. So you have to get that thing very clear in your life. Don't enter into any relationship thinking that, this person is the right one for me. Even the very concept of the right person is actually very erroneous. We always have a human being with strengths and flaws, and we have to accept them as they are. And even when we say, he or she completes me or makes me perfect, these are very good terms which we use. But as a sex and relationship therapist, we know that human beings can never reach perfection. We can only aim to reach perfection. So now let's begin with the first wait. Let me hold this in my hand. Okay. What is the first thing you can do to try to get a perfect relationship? It would be something being able to say sorry the next day. How many of you would agree with that? Being able to say sorry the next day. Yes. But very few of us can actually go about doing that. Why do you think so is the reason? Both men and women. There are certain men who are very egoistic, certain women who are very egoistic, and they just cannot say sorry. Why do you think so that happens? In any relationship. Yes. It's the ego and it's the self. And that is one of the biggest reasons why men and women these days are breaking apart very, very soon, or for small reasons. Because they think, if they say sorry, it means somewhere along the line they are the losers. That's what we think, that, we are losers. And if you've said sorry, then we are losers. And next time this particular partner of ours is going to play on us in a very bad way. So we think that, it's better to keep our mouth shut, just retain our ego and not use the word sorry. But let me tell you, sorry is a word which can really cross so many bridges and oceans and rivers and you name it. So you should, if you really love your partner, you should have that kind of courtesy to apologize. Whether you are a man or a woman, you are a boyfriend or a girlfriend, or you are in a live-in relationship, or you are in any kind of relationship, right? So you need to say sorry. Next would be being able to wait for the other person to say sorry the next day. Sometimes we don't have enough patience. Sometimes what happens, the other person is really thinking whether I should apologize for this or not. Have I done something wrong, or is it her fault, or is it his fault? And the person really needs to think. So the person who's been offended actually has to give time to the other person to think and react appropriately. But sometimes we are just waiting for the clock to tick, and we assume that, if within 2 hours so and so does not say sorry, it means it's gone. So we should always give the time to the other person to think and then act. Don't expect immediate answers from your partner. Sometimes we may not have them. Yes. Sometimes we may not have them, and we should understand one thing, that whenever any situation arises, it's a complex interaction of many factors. If there is a conflict, there are so many things working in the person's mind, he or she may not have a ready answer to give you. Right? So at least wait for a person till the next day to actually approach you and ask for that, or come to you and ask for your apology, and ideally you should be granting them that apology. Then you should not assume that, okay, now that was your mistake, no, now I'm not going to forgive you, right? So that should not be the attitude. If somebody has come up to you asking for forgiveness, you should be able to forgive. Welcome back, have a seat. Okay, so far so good. If any of you have any questions, please feel free to raise your hands and ask me. Okay? Is it going okay, ma'am? Fine. Okay, we go on to the third point. Having genuine common interests, similar quirks, complementary vices and virtues. Now this is very important. Having genuine common interests. Is it necessary for a man or a woman, or for that matter, in any relationship, for them to have common interests? What would happen if they have no common interests? Let me ask you a corollary question. They will not know how to spend time together. They will not know how to have fun together, right? So it's very important that you have different interests, but at the same time have certain interests which are common to both of you. Sorry? Yes. Or otherwise you would need some common activity to spend time together, right? So the more time you spend with your partner, the more bonding and the more affection would develop. That is how it goes. Similar quirks. What is the meaning of similar quirks? What is a quirk? A quirk is a habit which is not something very acceptable to the other person. Yes. So sometimes we need to have, how many of you have seen this film, this recent one which starred Imran Khan and this lady, Katrina Kaif? A very recent movie where both of them had similar kind of attitude towards life. I don't remember the name of the film, but yes, I guess so. Now, what they had shown that both of them have kind of similar, no, not that one. I'm sorry, I'm making a mistake. It's about this young lady, what is her name? It's about Ranbir Kapoor and this new lady, I can't recall the name. No. But there's a film I cannot recall right now. I'm sure some of you must have seen it. That's a film where they show this man and a woman. They basically have the same attitude towards life, of enjoying life. It's very important that the man and a woman attitude towards living and life is somewhat similar. If you are diametrically opposite, you're bound to have a lot of conflicts in your life. And lastly, complementary vices and virtues. We all have vices and we all have virtues. And that's the reason that when we say that so and so, completes me, what we're actually trying to say is that I have certain vices and my partner has certain virtues. Because of the certain virtues, I'm able to get away with something. That is what is actually meant by complementing each other. You sort of balance between the vices and the virtues. And as I've said earlier, every man and every woman will have certain virtues and vices. Certain vices cannot be eliminated throughout your life. Am I right? Right? So no matter how much you pressurize your partner, it doesn't happen. No matter how much you love your partner, some things cannot be changed. You have to just accept as they are and move on. But of course, having said that, I don't say that if your partner is a drug addict or a violent man or a woman, then you don't have to put up with that kind of nonsense. Then you have to find some way to solve the problem, but other things you will have to tolerate to a certain extent. Okay, the next one would be wanting the other's good opinion. How many of you would agree with that? Wanting the other's good opinion. Yes, yes. And see, when you are in a relationship, you just cannot go ahead and do whatever you feel like doing. When you are a single man or a woman, you are your own person and you can do whatever you want. But once you are married or once you are in a relationship, you have to always ask the other person whether he or she agrees to that or not. Of course, there are very independent-minded people in certain sections of our society, like the film industry. To give you a wonderful example, would be Shabana Azmi and Javed Akhtar. They don't interfere in each other's lives. She can select the kind of film she wants. He can do any kind of work which he wants. But they are a very mature lot and they are very responsible in their own self. So they are the people who are not likely to face problems. So even somebody like, Sharmila Tagore and late Mansur Ali Khan Patoli, where, both of them are so independent yet together. Both of them have given each other so much of space that they are comfortable in that area. But for a normal man and woman who are not brought up in such an atmosphere, because we live in a society which is very, very conditioned with so many things. A man should do this, a man should do that, a woman cannot do this, a man cannot do that. So in that society, it will be very mandatory for you to always take your partner's opinion. No, not opinion, in the sense like suppose you want to, let's say in the middle of the night you want to go out and meet your friends. It's always important that you ask her whether I should go or not, whether she would appreciate it or not. Otherwise she'll say, what's the whole point? You're just doing your own thing. Why am I here for? Or even if the wife wants to, probably have a girls' night out or something, she should also